What's up, everybody? It's Cody Lockwood from LockwoodsLoot doing another weekly new comic book review. Today is August 6th. Lots and lots of new books out. Actually, it's September 6th. Sorry about that, guys. So, lots of new comic books out. I'm just going to do a handful of them. I think today we're doing 5 reviews. Tons of other ones out, and surprisingly today I'm also doing 2 all-age book reviews. A good friend of mine, saw one of our videos and was asking about books for their children. So, and it just so happened that I was already doing 2 all-age books, which is not something I normally do. But for parents out there that want to get their kids into comic books, there are tons and tons of all-age books from all different companies, ranging from My Little Pony to now they have the new Star Wars Adventures. You name it, any cartoon that your kid watches, there's a comic book. Miraculous is a great new one right now. That's a French cartoon. But there's tons and tons of all ages, so best thing to do is just contact your local comic book shop, go in there and check out and see what they have. So we're going to jump right in it today. September 6th, not August, guys. So the books we have is from IDW, the new Star Wars Adventures, which I'm very curious on. Marvel, as we know, owns the rights to Star Wars. So with IDW having the adventures, I'm wondering if this is a way for them to do stories that aren't necessarily canon, for them just to do fun adventures, and so we'll see how that goes. The other all-age book is from Image, Scales and Scoundrels. Definitely a book that I wasn't expecting to be an all-age book, but... And then for the more mature teen books, we have Journey to Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Force Friday was just last week. The new Captain Phasma book just dropped as in a novel. So I had no interest at all in picking this up, but after that book dropped, and hearing some speculation from my younger brother Travis, I had to read it. And then finally, the last 5 weeks we've been building up the Edge of Venomverse, so now we have officially entered Venomverse. And the last one was Astonishing X-Men. This is part 3. So we're just going to start right here with the Astonishing X-Men. So each issue has been a new creative team for the Astonishing X-Men, which I absolutely love that concept and idea. Keeps it fresh and new. Basically, the story is there was a huge psychic attack on all of the psychic mutants throughout the world. The X-Men, randomly X-Men get called to, and they find Psylocke up in a tower. Psylocke tells them what's going on, that it's the Shadow King is attacking all of the mutants, so she puts this team into a slumber to go into the astral plane. So that's kind of Shadow King's world, his realm, where he can create and do whatever. Basically, he's trying to win them over to take over their body. If you watched Legion on FX, phenomenal TV show, you'll know more. You'll be more familiar with the realm of the astral plane and Shadow King. So this issue was drawn by Ed McGuinness, which I'm a huge fan of. And Charles Soule wrote it. So as you can see in the cover, it's Wolverine, Logan with his different phases. Because in this one, it's solely based. It follows the Wolverine's trials and tribulations in the astral plane. Shadow King's trying to defeat him by breaking him down, but Logan's been through a lot. He's been through the astral plane, so he's a bad mamma jamma. Ed McGuinness does a great job with the Old Man Logan artwork. And then we have, also in this, the whole thing is Charles Xavier is back. Boom, spoiler alert, sorry guys. But it's the whole concept is it's Charles Xavier battling the Shadow King in the astral plane for dominancy. So hopefully at the end of this we'll have Charles Xavier back in the main continuity. I'm not going to spoil it too much, but there is a the final page is absolutely amazing. Look at that splash page by Ed McGuinness, just awesome. All right, on to book number 2, another Marvel. So yeah, 3 Marvels this week, guys. For a while, for probably 2-3 years, I wasn't reading a single Marvel book, but Marvel has really been doing a great job lately. So on to the Venomverse. So each week, the last 5 weeks, we've been doing the Edge of Venomverse, which follows a specific alternate universe reality Venom symbiote. So in 1 week it was the Ghost Rider had the symbiote, the other week it was Logan had the symbiote, another week the all-new Wolverine X-23 had the symbiote, and so on and so forth. So now what they were doing is the Captain America symbiote was recruiting all of these Venoms from across the universes and dimensions to come together. We didn't know why. Now we do. Venomverse. And we open it up with our Eddie Brock, or as we think our Eddie Brock, battling Jack-O-Lantern. And, you know, I see a different part of Eddie Brock. I see here he's defending society and culture in kind of a ruthless way, but, you know, he is, I would say, a good guy, a vigilante. And then he gets warped into the new dimension, and where he finds this very sick little boy who almost looks borderline zombie-ish, and Captain America strikes him right in the forehead with a shield, and green blood splatters everywhere. So then Venom's very confused. Eddie Brock is very confused. You know, there's all these other symbiotes, and they're part of the resistance. And we find out what they're resisting is, I guess, a type. They call it the poison. So it's these this alien race that are hunting down and eating symbiotes. So they look. They are weak until they touch a symbiote, and then they take over that body. So the main bad guy in here for the poison was well, there's 2 of them, but the first one I'll show you, because he's a Batman Majama, is the Hulk. So obviously they warped the Hulk Venom symbiote into this universe, and he was infected by the poison, becoming this super powerful person who just wants to kill all of the other symbiotes and take their symbiote to grow and prosper. Anyways, we'll see. It's super amazing. Cullen Bunn writes it, which Cullen Bunn writes multiple books every single week. I really enjoy his storytelling. The artwork is great in there as well. So definitely do yourself a favor. Check it out. Venomverse issue 1 out today, guys. All right, Journey to Star Wars, The Last Jedi. This is the Captain Phasma. So as I was reading this, it takes place like 30 minutes before the Star Killer base is fully charged up. That was at the end of episode 7. So it literally takes place like the last 30 minutes of episode 7. If you recall, the Han and Chewie kidnap Captain Phasma, and they make her drop the shield so the Resistance can come in to the Star Killer to basically destroy it. And they mention something about putting her in a trash compactor. So it starts off her in the trash compactor. The writing is great. The artwork is, I love it. I mean, this artwork for the Star Wars is great. I really enjoyed it. And really what this made me do, it made me want to go back and watch the movie. So it's basically her hunting down... because of course she deleted from the log in the comic book that she shut down the shield, so she's hunting down someone else who shut down the shield. It doesn't really show much of how badass she is, but I guess in her new novel, it's her origin, about her alien race and where she comes from, and well, she is a warrior first and foremost, and not necessarily a first order supporter, mainly supporting herself. But I'm really curious at where this goes. The artwork was great, storytelling was great as well. So good job, Marvel. A couple books that really knocked it out of the park. This is the first from Image. This is Scales and Scoundrels. This is an E for everyone, an all-age book. I had no idea what to expect out of this, but it was a really fun, whimsical, cartoony comic following a young gal in the D&D realm setting, up to no good, playing cards, winning lots of money, getting accused of cheating, and then kicking everyone's butt, catching the place on fire. And she is. Then she's in the woods, and there's some bandits attacking the young prince, and of course she makes them all look like fools and kicks their butts. And then there's all this lore about dragons and that she's a dragon. And we end with the new opponent, a bad guy looking to hunt her down because there's a reward for her theft, card cheating, highway robbery, dabbling in forbidden magics, and general scoundrelness. So it looks like it'll be a fun read. If you're into D&D, Pathfinder, nerdy stuff like that, you might enjoy it. Or if you just want something lighthearted and whimsical, good book. Or if you're into D&D and you want your kids to be into D&D and they want to read comics and play all that tabletop, would be a fun book for them. Check it out. Another one. This one I really enjoyed. This is another all-age book. This is IDW's new Star Wars Adventures. So Marvel owns Star Wars, and Marvel owns Star Wars. Disney owns Marvel, but this is put out by IDW. So this is Star Wars Adventures. Almost reminds me of like what we would see on the Cartoon Network if there was a Star Wars. Like Rebel. We've all been watching the Clone Wars and stuff in the past. So it reminded me of a cartoon comic book of Star Wars. And it follows Rey back on Jakku before basically all of Star Wars Episode 7 happened. And it just shows some of her adventures and what she did, and very curious in where this goes. The artwork is fun, and like I said, it's like you're reading a cartoon. But what I enjoyed at the end was a little mini story of Tales from Wild Space, and this was another new creative team, but it's basically this new group of space travelers traveling on the Star Herald, a new ship, basically just narrating an old story that his mother used to tell him, and it just so happened to be about Obi-Wan Kenobi. But really fun, and Salacious Crumb is one of my little favorite characters from Jabba's Palace, and there is they call him a monkey lizard in this, but a fun little guy up there, little red dude. So fun, definitely your kids, if they like Star Wars, this is a must-buy for them. I could really see kids and just fans of Star Wars in general really enjoying this book. It's $4, you can't go wrong. It's issue 1, there's a bunch of different covers, a bunch of different variants, including some incentive variants. So do yourself a favor, get out there, shop, guys, support your local comic shops. And another nice thing is mostly all of these books nowadays are coming with free digital downloads. So I know a lot of you want to read it digitally. That's fine. It's going to cost the same amount for you to buy a comic book with free digital download than it is to buy just online. So support your local comic shop, because if you don't support them, there won't be a shop to go and hang out. So do yourself a favor. Get out there. Today is New Comic Book Day, September 6th. Again, I'm Cody Lockwood from LockwoodsLoot. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.